There is one thing, and only one thing that I like about Super Bowl, the commercials. They are so very creative, and they are designed thinking outside of the box, and they're able to sell the project or the product so very easily. My dear sisters and brothers, recently there was one such commercial that promoted the good work by NFL players among little children and youngsters. And in the commercial, we had these NFL players stand in their midst and lead them into a kind of football cheer. It went something like this. I may be small, I may be little, but I am somebody. My features may look different. My dress may look different. My hair may be different, but I am somebody. I am to be protected. I am to be respected, never rejected, because I am somebody. That one-liner, I am somebody, has a long history. In 1963, Reverend Jesse Jackson, while talking to hundreds and thousands of people, his own people, the American people, he used that one line, I am somebody. And he looked to them and said, you may be poor, but you are somebody. Your dress may be different, your complexion may be different, your culture may be different, but you are somebody. You may be despised, you may be rejected, you may be belittled, but you are somebody. And all the people responded, I am somebody. Now, that I am somebody is not something that Reverend Jesse Jackson used for the first time. You hear it in the gospel of the day. Jesus would say it in a different way 2,000 years ago. He looked to the people and said, you may be poor, but you are somebody. You may be hurting and grieving and mourning, but you are somebody. You may feel cheated on. You may feel betrayed, but you are somebody. My dear sisters and brothers, today the good Lord turns to us and says, you are somebody. Think of our own sacraments. Today we have 4 little ones in our midst, infants, babies. And what happens in baptism? The Father looks at them, makes them His own, and says, from this day forth, you are somebody. And so you better be careful on how you bring up your children, because they are somebody, someone very special. Or as you and I approach the sacrament of reconciliation, God forgives our sins because that is His way of telling us that we are somebody. Or in a little while, you will be coming up to the sanctuary and putting out your hand to receive the body and blood of Christ. The Father feeds us with the body and blood of His own Son, and that is His own way of telling us we are somebody. It comes with a price tag attached, or should I say with the string attached. As a father looks at us and says, you are somebody, when at the end of the Mass we are made to turn around and dismissed and catapulted into the world, we are called upon by God to say that same blessing to anyone and everyone we meet with, that they are somebody. I was just sitting back and thinking to myself, if Christ were in our midst today, in our nation, in our world, what would he say? You may be of a different religion. You may be from a different culture. But you are somebody. Your complexion may be different. Your language may be different. The country you were raised in may be different, but you are somebody. I think he would go a little further and say, you may be an immigrant. You may be a refugee, but you are somebody before the eyes of God. Or he may even get very specific and say, you may be incarcerated. You may be reviled and rejected by the culture, by people around you. But never forget that you are somebody. There was this Irish philosopher by the name of John Scotus Erigene. He compared the human heart to a kind of a mirror that reflected the brilliance, the beauty, and the radiance of God to itself. Just to realize how good the human heart is in the presence of God. How beautiful we are. We may be broken. We may be vulnerable. But we are somebody in the eyes of God. And so do not despair. Do not give in, because you are somebody. God knows your worth, and that is why he fashioned you in his own image and likeness. And at the end of the Mass, as you and I go back into the world, you and I need to express what we have experienced. We need to tell what we have tasted. And God says to us, you are somebody. You are someone special. May you and I look upon everyone around us, whatever may be their background, that they are somebody in the eyes of God. And then our nation will be different. Our world will be different. And our lives will be different. And in difficult times, never forget that you are somebody and very special and precious in the eyes of God. And when you deal with someone that's not quite to your liking, remember that that person is also somebody special in the eyes of God. You are somebody. And you are someone special in the eyes of God.